Right, so Keir Starmer's unavowed allegiance to the apartheid state of Israel has sunk to new lows, as the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, who have a fringe event and stall at Labour conference beginning tomorrow, have already been censored, preventing them having any mention of Israeli apartheid present because, according to Team Keith, this would be detrimental to the Labour Party. In what way? Will Luke Akehurst turn puce and throw up in a bin somewhere? Will the Board of Deputies say something mean to you? Are you that scared of the Israel lobby you fear ramifications from them if you don't acquiesce to your Zionist paymasters, Keith? By censoring Palestine Solidarity, you're picking a side, and you're picking the side of the oppressor against the oppressed. So even before Labour's miserable conference even kicks off in Liverpool, people are sickened by it. Right, so the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, the PSC, have for years hosted a fringe event with stall and literature at Labour Party conference standing up for the Palestinian cause. But in an arrogant display of showing the Tories just how to screw up a conference even before theirs has even started, Keir Starmer, that Zionist without qualification, has provoked outrage that will no doubt cheer his Israel lobby backers by censoring the event. A press release issued by Labour regarding the PSC event states that Labour have taken the decision not to allow PSC to use the word apartheid to describe their annual conference stall or fringe meeting in Labour printed or online brochures. When asked for a justification of its decision, the leader, Keir Starmer's office, said Labour would not publish content that we believe to be detrimental to the party. Detrimental how, though? How is standing up for an oppressed minority going to be detrimental to your party? Unless your concerns relate more to how the state of Israel views you and how criticism of that might affect your own party interests. It's also quite telling that by saying it is detrimental to party interests, they can put up no reasoning to refute the allegation that Israel is an apartheid state, just that they simply don't want to acknowledge that fact. It's certainly not going to affect ordinary members up and down the country if Israel is seen to be an apartheid state and is accused as such, is shown with evidence to be such, but it will definitely piss a lot of them off to ignore the issue when plenty are, at the very least, cursorily aware of the issues going on. Starmer has just this morning put out a tweet causing a lot of offence and disgust, saying, I utterly condemn the ongoing attacks on Israel and her citizens. There is no justification for this act of terror which is being perpetrated by those who seek to undermine any chance for future peace in the region. Israel has a right to defend herself. Well, so does Palestine. But where's your tweet about that? You never say likewise about Palestine, do you? Ever. And now he wants to clamp down on others being able to say anything as well, picking his side again. On top of that, amongst the litany of policy positions he has watered down or binned, amongst those weakened has been the commitment to recognise a Palestinian state if elected. Now it's just an aspiration to achieve that alongside other international partners, so basically binned. Siding with the oppressor against the oppressed, though of course he can say he stands with Ukraine against Russia without any hint of shame at the blatant hypocrisy that shows. The PSC event this year is called Justice for Palestine, End Apartheid, but Labour are not happy about Israel being referred to as an apartheid state, even though that is exactly what it is. They have challenged the decision and got absolutely nowhere. The PSC are hardly the only organisation calling Israel an apartheid state, though. B'Tselem have said it, Amnesty International, replete with its lawyers and forensic analysis of the situation, have said it, and Starmer, as a former human rights lawyer who will have worked with human rights advocates such as these, knows this. How can he not know it? But instead of facing that reality and challenging it as a credible leader should, he chooses what benefits himself instead. Those Israel lobbyists, those Trevor Chin Jewish Leadership Council-style donors, and simply says he doesn't accept the facts when presented to him, doesn't agree with them, ignores evidence in favour of his own arrogant opinion, and that's not someone you want in power. The keynote speaker at the PSC event is a chap called Saleh Hijazi, who is the apartheid-free policy coordinator for the BDS National Committee, Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions. Will Starmer's Labour even permit him to be introduced as that with their diktat upon the event? Remains to be seen. Hijazi was also, however, one of the co-authors of what is widely regarded as the seminal report amongst human rights agencies on Israeli apartheid, namely that produced by Amnesty International, stating with evidence that Israel is practicing apartheid as defined by the Rome Statute of 1998, which states that apartheid is an institutionalized regime of systematic oppression and domination by one racial group over any other racial group or groups, and committed with the intention of maintaining that regime. It is a crime against humanity. It isn't like the issue isn't being adequately recognised by various other bodies that Labour can ignore either. For one, its own trade union backers, for example, with the recent TUC conference passing motions of solidarity once again with Palestine, with various unions having done so in their own rights. A prime example is the ASLEF rail union boss Mick Whelan, who is on the Labour Party National Executive Committee, the NEC, and who is also going to be speaking at the PSC Fringe event, has said, "You cannot tackle an injustice unless you are prepared to name it. Solidarity with Palestinians means addressing the reality of the system of apartheid under which they are forced to live." Of course, there are others on the NEC, though, for whom promoting the position Starmer has taken is much more important, and whose position on the NEC has many people wondering just how much control the Israel lobby really does have on the Labour Party now. And I am, of course, referring to the aforementioned Luke Akehurst here, who is literally director of an Israel lobbyist firm, We Believe in Israel. He's just been caught on film talking about how delegates at conference have been managed to prevent them from voting for a boycott on Israel, how motions of that nature have been blocked, because if the leadership allowed them to happen, they, the party, the Israel-supporting Labour Party, would have lost it. God forbid people exercise their opinion in a supposedly democratic party in a democratic way, though, eh? The best statement to sum all of this up that I've seen, though, comes from Saleh Hijazi himself, who has said, "The Labour Party under Keir Starmer's leadership has moved from turning a blind eye to Israel's regime of settler colonialism and apartheid against the Palestinian people, which owes a lot to a century of British complicity, to silencing those who advocate for Palestinian rights. By attempting to censor the term apartheid in relation to Israel, Labour's leadership is ironically recalling the darkest era of Thatcher's support for South African apartheid. It's a stance against the growing international human rights consensus about Israel's regime of oppression, against Palestinian freedom, justice and equality, and against the expressed position of an overwhelming majority of Labour's membership. It's a stance for ongoing and shameful complicity with Israeli apartheid." Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, share and subscribe if you did. More content out daily. Please do have your say on the comments below on this. Be part of the conversation. Are you as disgusted as I am over this, as other pro-Palestine voices are? Do let me know. Meanwhile, here's a video recommendation where Luke Akehurst's staunch, undying defence of Israel and conflating criticism of that with anti-Semitism, the Zionist way, got exposed and then some when he took on Jewish human rights activist Jackie Walker and came up well short. And I'll hopefully catch you on the next vid. Cheers, folks.